Hey IG, how's it going? Just getting around to responding to your video now because of the recent Osama bin Laden craziness. I've been transfixed for a while, but I think that obsession has left me for now. After watching your video, I realized a couple of things. You and I both look at the issue of abortion a lot more similarly than I had originally thought. Of course, we do have our differences, so this video will concentrate on them in order to better understand your reasoning and offer you my reasoning in response. Okay, the first area we disagree on is the fact that you say the father should have a say in keeping the child. I don't really know how that would work. Say you have a couple that has consensual sex, but disagree about keeping the child. Can the father really force the mother to have the child legally? I really think in the end it's always a mother's choice that allows the child to be born. Nothing else really matters. I find it hard to go further into this unless I understand a way in which the father will have a say in keeping the child. I can't imagine any law that will allow for such a thing to be enforceable. Second area that we disagree on is making abortion illegal after 2 or 3 or however many abortions. In other words, making abortion illegal as a form of birth control. I agree with you that such an action is sick. There is something different about a fetus versus any other thing in that the fetus is a potential human being. However, locking up somebody doesn't seem to be the answer to me. I'm not sure if there even is an answer. All I know is that it will be very hard to justify locking up a mother of 3 for having had X number of abortions because the couple hasn't been careful in their sex life. Besides, I don't really think that the number is as big as you seem to think it is. I haven't even been able to find stats on the number of people who've had large numbers of abortions. The procedure itself seems to be fairly rare in individual people's lives. Speaking of numbers, let's say 50 million abortions have been done since Roe v. Wade. I've seen that number on a lot of pro-life sites. That's 50 million over 40 years. As of now, there are about 118,000 kids per year awaiting adoption. I think those numbers speak for themselves. If you said something that really touched me. You, myself, and every other person are the result of a long line of women choosing life. Those 50 million, though, they wouldn't be. If they could be magically poofed into existence, what kind of life would they live? I don't really want to say that in a flippant way or to make fun or suggest that they're worth less than those who are alive. What I'm saying is they wouldn't have been born to people who wanted them. And that is the difference between them and you and I. The trick for the pro-life movement seems to be in convincing people to want to keep children, not legislating. You brought up wishing for small government. That's fine. I'm not here to have a debate over big government versus small government. However, what happens if your desire for small government comes into conflict with a desire to choose life? I believe it really does. Take a look at which countries have the lowest incidence of abortion, and then consider their forms of government. The results may surprise you. It's really about choice. On the part of the woman dealing with the pregnancy, and on the part of society in general. It is possible for society to influence a woman's decision-making. Simply provide programs that will allow a woman to have children and not worry about the economic consequences. Expand WIC so that kids actually do eat free. Include state-provided health care or in child care so that moms can work without having to worry about how to take care of their child. Free education and education that conforms to a mother's needs is also something they need so they don't have to drop out of school. There are a range of programs that would reduce the number of abortions, and we as a society have not chosen to offer a lot of those programs. So to boil it down, I am for reducing the number of abortions by increasing social programs. I don't think that we should reduce a woman's choice because it's not practical. And more importantly, they choose what to do with their own bodies. Anyway, let me know what you think.